In our classes here at BJU, we try to prepare our students to address the creation evolution controversy and show how a biblical creation model is intellectually sustainable when it comes to facing evolutionists. And as you go out into science, your scientific world, you're going to probably run into that more likely. And so the question I would ask the two of you is how we have prepared you for that, and have you had any experience with this in the past that your education here has shed some light upon to help you address that in the future?
Well, I would say one of even a bigger question than that is, can Christian institutions even begin to answer what evolution supposedly has to bring against Christianity and against creationism? And I would say yes. I would say Bob Jones has really prepared me since day one, walking into general biology as a freshman, scared out of my wits in college, first of all, and not knowing what I was getting myself into, and listening to look at how complicated the world is. Just look at the evidence, look at what wonder and complexity there is in life. And I know personally for me, we as a family would run Camp Creepy Crawly is what we called it. It was a camp for kids, whoever wanted to come. Usually it was for staff kids or for believers, but there was a lot of skeptics who came in too because they really wanted to know if there were feasible answers as far as the creation model went. Honestly, the evolutionary model has a lot of holes in it. And there are a lot of questions that it can't answer scientifically, but also philosophy-wise. And knowing that there are answers for that is a big thing for us as believers to be prepared for and to give to other people as well.
John?
Well, personally, this past summer I was actually able to work in a secular environment and work with other scientists who have gone through training in secular universities. And while working there, I was able to have very intellectual conversations with them due to my education here at Bob Jones. And due to almost every class I've taken here, the topic of evolution and origin has been brought up. And having that education and then going into the secular environment, I was able to, I guess in a sense, hold my own and be able to defend why I believe in God and why I believe He created the earth. And you know, even having worked in these situations, also working with other Christians that don't hold to a true six-day creationary model, I've been able to explain to them from what I've learned here that the necessity in just the narrative of the Bible to believe in God creating the earth in 6 days and how it comes into play with salvation and the resurrection and such.
And I think something else too, you'll probably agree with this, John, is the faculty here are not afraid to ask the questions. There's a lot of institutions, a lot of Christians that I've run into over the years. They don't have an answer because they're too scared to ask. And they feel that they don't have any particular weight or any scientific reasoning to actually bring up against evolutionists because evolutionists has been studying this for years and years and years and years. They've got a PhD at the end of their name that automatically makes them an expert. And you can study something and still be wrong. And if we know that in science. That is something we run into a lot. But I do appreciate the fact that the teachers are not just going to force feed us information and say, this is what you should believe. They say, here's the facts, look at it, understand it, come to your own conclusion. Where does the evidence lead you? You know, and that's something I really appreciate here at Bob Jones.
Yeah, I think it's very important for our students to realize that God's world and God's word will not contradict one another. What man says about God's world might contradict God's word, but God's world itself will not.